together, trimming up the pork butts, the Lonzas. And those are the scraps we're going to make sausage.
Apple cider vinegar.
Oh, it's straight apple cider vinegar. And why is that done?
Disinfect. Vinegar is cleaner.
So how much salt and pepper, or salt and sugar? About a couple of pounds each?
No, you make enough to cover it, because then
Right, you're going to use it.
Week you have to still keep doing it. I'll probably have to make it again, but I'll make enough for today.
All right, now comes the time to salt and sugar the Lonzas. It's a pretty good sprinkling.
Don't rub it in.
You don't want to press it in.
You don't want to press it in. You just want to sprinkle it on. Do its own thing. The purpose of which is to draw this moisture out, thus preserving the meat.
Yeah.
The meat can't turn bad if there's no moisture in it. The pepper, contrary to what people think, is not a preservative. It's got very meager preservative properties.
So what's the purpose? To keep Teddy away?
Flavor and to keep rodents away.
Keep Teddy away.
Yeah, well, rodents into and flavor.
Yeah.
It has some slight preservative qualities, but not. It's the salt that does it.
They are big pork butts this year. So we'll see how they turn out. And this is my dad's basement, wine cellar. We have boards that have been placed and slanted downward.
Room is cool.
Newspaper and plastic. And then finally we're going to put the butts and arrange them. Okay, they are all set. They've been resalted. That's on a pitched angle down so that they can fall into the plastic, and the newspaper will absorb all the liquid, all the blood and the juices. Of course, the last thing to do is give it the blessing, and we'll see them in 6 days. My dad will come back here a couple of times a day, maybe twice a day, and turn them and resalt them wherever kind of the wet spots are. The idea is to really dry them out over the next 6 days. After making the sausage, came back down here and already see the process by which they will sweat out for the next 6 days. Newspaper doing what they should be doing.
Old-fashioned preservative.
We'll see you guys in a bit. This is 1 week later, after my father has been down here at least once a day, sometimes more, resalting.
Once a day.
Yeah. And turning them over.
A little sprinkling of salt. Not much.
So you can definitely tell they've shrunk. So now we are going to take them upstairs, wash them off, and give them a rinse, and then repack them with pepper.
These are in the process of semi-mummification.
It's just washing them off with water, because all the salt is either melted or been absorbed. The surface salt is no longer there. All right, and you're rinsing them off now with
Vinegar water.
And what are the proportions of that? this point, we're just cleaning up the Lonzas, taking off some of the exterior fat. So at this point, they've been patted dry, and my dad is now applying liberal amounts of pepper. Again, you're not pressing it in, you're just putting it on the surface.
It probably has to be done a few times before you wrap it. These have been peppered, and they're back down here in this basement to dry on their little makeshift racks. They have to dry out a little bit more, maybe 3, 4, 5 days, even up to a week. But when they start to get harder and harder, the dripping is, for all intents and purposes, over because we washed the salt out. The salt has done its job, and it's inside, it's flavored it, and it's preserved it. And this is the ubiquitous apple cider vinegar in a spray jar, which, if you ever saw my big fat Greek wedding, what they did with Windex, we do with apple cider
That's the
vinegar
same thing.
when we make Lonza.
Very nice.
This paper bag, excuse me, is with the string is the old-fashioned way. The modern way is to use meat net bags that butcher shops use. They do rolls. And that's it's just a matter of letting. You want a paper bag because it's porous and it breathes, and the netting. And I like the string because it shapes the Lonza into the shape that I want it. It's like a lunch meat shape.
So the netting won't give you that outcome?
No, the netting just hang it.
Ah, okay.
So my big reason for this is because A, I've always done it this way. My family's always done it this way. And B, I like the shaping of it.
And in the traditional, Italian butcher growing up, everything was hanging and it had strings on it, right?
Yep.
Old school.
These wide bags are not ideal,
But they work.
but they'll do the job.
It is February the 2nd, 2014, and just down here checking on the Lonzas. It's pretty cold down here, probably an even 50 degrees or so. Let's get the window barely open, and they seem to be drying perfectly, at least from what we can see. So we'll be back slicing one up, trying it, and enjoying them throughout the rest of the year. And these have been hanging for just about 12 weeks. My dad and I did take 2 of the smaller ones out, which appeared to have dried out thoroughly.
One of the smaller ones.
One of the smaller ones, and then we split that. So we've already tasted it, and it is pretty good. The rest of these should be perfect at this point. So we're going to go ahead and cut them down. During this step, we are soaking the Lonzas in a mixture of water, apple cider vinegar, pickling spices, and some garlic. My dad is trimming up some of the fattier sections, which we will repepper, and then they're done. We'll cryo vac them and then use them over the next months/year. And that's what they look like cut in half, perfectly dry cured. So we've just repeppered them. Now we're cutting them in half, and we're going to cryo vac them, and that's it. Okay, here we're wrapping up the Lonzas to store them until we're going to use them. And what's that?
Apple cider vinegar.
Now at this point, is that for preserving it or is it the flavor?
No, well, preserving, you don't have to worry about that. They're preserved. It's to add some moisture to it.
And it also gives a little flavor, right?
Yeah, sure. You don't want to, to dry it out enough. You want to add a little moisture now.
Okay.
Into the pan, into the medium pan. Chop fresh sage. You can use dry if you don't have fresh. Stir it around a little bit. It's the Italian version of a BLT without the L and T. Vinegar. Balsamic or otherwise. Good wine vinegar.
Cook that down, let some of that salt come out, flavor. Okay. Okay.
There you have it.
Well, let's try it.
A fast Lonza sandwich.
Taste it. What do you think? Come out okay? Happy dance? Yeah, right. All right, and that is how you make Lonza. And that is how you enjoy Lonza. I want to thank everyone for joining us on this adventure in dry cured meats.